the Forbes Women Africa Keynote interview with Tiwa Savage. Nigerian-born artist Tiwa Savage, widely regarded as the queen of Afrobeats, needs no introduction. She combines a unique fusion of Afrobeats, R&B, soul, and pop.
Ladies and gentlemen, just one sentence. The queen of the Afrobeats is in the house!
Wow, thank you.
Tiwa, what a pleasure and honor to be talking to you on stage today. How do I describe you? A fashion icon, an actor, right? A Grammy-nominated artist. You're an entrepreneur, you're a philanthropist. There's a really long CV that I got ahead of this.
I mean, my first role is I'm a mother.
You're a mother. Okay. That too.
That's my first job.
I mean, what is it that you do not do? In 2023, we saw you, up at the King's coronation. You were singing. You dazzled millions of people around the world, and you continue to do that. I mean, you've managed to sustain that interest in your art. So I just want to go back to the beginning. I mean, you were born in Nigeria.
Yes.
You grew up in the United Kingdom. You went to America to learn jazz. So here we have this fearless musician and so many different musical influences.
Yeah.
How have you managed to ride the wave for so long? And you're brilliant, you're at it, you've got your 5th album coming out.
Yes. Oh, that is a loaded question. First of all, I just have to give glory to God. I know it sounds cliche, but I promise you, I really would not be here if not for the grace of God. And I also have to say it's for my parents as well. I wanted to do this a lot earlier. And I told my parents I wanted to be an entertainer. I wasn't sure if it was in music or acting. And my African parents said no. And they said I have to go to school. And they gave me a list of 5 things, either do medicine, engineering, accounting, And I was so angry, but I did it because, you can't disobey your African parents. And so I gave them my first degree, which was in business and accounting. And I said, okay, now can I go into music? And then my dad said, no, you have to go and study music. And I was like, Dad, Michael Jackson did not study, Beyonce did not study music. What do you mean? And he made me go to Berklee College of Music to study jazz. And at the time, for me, it was delaying me. Because, in the music industry, people usually get signed by 18, 19, 20, in their early 20s. And I'm pushing 30. So I'm trying to explain to my parents that this is not going to work. And I got my degree in jazz, music business as well. And I can say it's because of that I've been able to last this long in music in terms of reading contracts and understanding music business, understanding different genres, learning about rock and pop music from the UK, having the foundation of African rhythm, learning about jazz and being expressive. All of those things which I hated my parents for at the time is what I'm grateful for, because to be 45 and still be doing this is definitely...
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Incredible.
And then you also acted in a film.
Yes, I did.
Last year.
Yeah.
So is that, how did the acting debut come about?
Acting came before music. When I was in school, I did drama, so I always knew that I wanted to go into acting. But then there was this really, really cute guy in my high school, and he was in the music department. So I was just like, push acting to the side a bit. Let me go for this really cute guy because he's in the music department. And then I got into music. But acting was really like one of my first. He dumped me, but by the way.
So,
Don't follow any man for your dreams.
so only 18.7 million followers on Instagram. Well, that's Tiwa Savage. So take us through some of the, you've had a diverse career as well, musical journey, working with a lot of big artists. So Chris Martin of Coldplay, Sam Smith, Brandy. How do these, how easy is it to navigate these kind of collaborations? And what is so enduring about your journey is that every time you want to shoot an album, make a song, create a song, you come back home to Nigeria.
Yes.
That is absolutely enduring about it.
Because the source is back home.
Yes.
You have to come back. And that's what's making us stand out. In terms of working with, someone like Chris Martin, Sam Smith, and Brandy, who is my idol, when you're in the room with these people, it just kind of inspires you in a different way. Like, they don't have two heads. They have heartbreak issues like we do. They go to the toilet like we do. And but then to see me in the studio with someone like Chris Martin, and then a week later he's selling out stadiums, it just makes me know that what I'm dreaming is possible. Because these aren't aliens that's just come and selling out stadiums. This is a human being like me. And being in the studio with Brandy was another just magical experience for me, because seeing how she lays her vocals, how, she might not get it right the first time, and she might have to do one take like 10 times. I'm not that hard on myself. Then I'm like, oh, okay, all I have to do is really practice. Like, that's really the difference between us and the people we perceive as our idols. It's like, we all have dreams, but they were consistent with theirs.
The thing is, there's a lot of talk about, Afrobeats is obviously riding this massive wave globally, and we all talk about African music going to the world, but actually the world is now coming to African music. The world is catching up with African music.
People always ask me, how do we break into mainstream? And I don't like that. They should want to break into us and our market, because this is where it started from. Like, if you go back to, the slave trade and, music crossing the water and going into Negro spiritual. From Negro spiritual, you had soul music, rhythm and blues, which is what we call R&B, then into pop and hip hop. Really, everything started from Africa. Like, everything. All these big genres that we're talking about now, it all traces back to Africa. So when they say, oh, how do you feel about Africa having its 15 minutes of fame? I say, no, you guys are just discovering that we are the source.
Right. And on that note, what advice would you give emerging African artists?
It's not really to them. I would like to plead more to our government to create the right infrastructure so that they don't feel like they have to break into America before they become global icons. Like,
very well said.
If we had the right infrastructure here, we have the number, we have the music, we have the swag, we have everything. They will be the ones trying to break into our market. So it's really pleading to our leaders and making them believe that if they create the right environment for our creatives, not just artists, like movies and, fashion designers, artists, painters, everything, I feel like we wouldn't even care about what's going on in the rest of the world, because, it will be so groundbreaking what we're doing here. So I guess to artists is be consistent, enjoy the process, because you never get back the beginning. That beginning stage where you're not really doing music for streams or, Instagram posts or likes, you're really doing it from your heart. As soon as you get into the industry, all of that stuff changes. And now there's pressure of, creating a song that's going to go viral on TikTok. Right. And you're not really doing it from your heart. That moment from the beginning, you never get that moment back. So at the beginning, as an emerging artist, please, please, please enjoy that moment and make sure you create or you understand the type of artist you are, because the minute you get into the world, everybody's going to tell you the type of artist you should be.
Sure. There was a very interesting conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
and where she shared that her next era is that of the mogul billionaire era. So she has plans to become Africa's future billionaire, and we'll definitely love to have you on the cover at that point. In fact, we do have a daily cover going up online as we speak on Tiwa Savage.
Thank
so
you.
just tell us a little bit about that. I mean, we don't have enough time, but if you could tell us about your entrepreneurial
In
journey.
my head, the kind of lifestyle that I live in my head, I feel like I have to be a billionaire. In my head, I see it, but I just feel like, of course I'm inspired by what's happening with Rihanna and, other artists or other people in the creative space, and I want that to, I want to represent that for an African woman. I don't just want to be known for, fame and, music and catalog and stuff like that. I want to be able to show that African girl that, Aliko Dangote is not the only one that can be a billionaire.
Wow, that's great. Aliko Dangote, please take note. So, Tiwa's got This One Is Personal, her fifth studio album coming out this summer.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tiwa Savage. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm not